This is Saturday Morning Mysteries.
And we're your hosts, Alexis and Grace.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Saturday Morning Mysteries, where we are your hosts. I'm Grace.
And I'm Alexis.
And we are back for our second Jabberjaw episode. This will be Alexis's first Jabberjaw episode. I mean, if it's anything like the first, we're doing things. We're going places. We're meeting people. We're swimming around.
If it's anything like the first, I'm going to need to silently stare out the window for 30 minutes after I finish recapping this episode.
Good.
Wondering about the meaning of life and what does and doesn't make sense in the grand scheme of the universe.
Not a lot, frankly. Not a lot,
as the show proves. Yes.
Yes. Well, I'm excited for your episode, for your wild speculation that you hinted at last week.
Yes.
Take it away.
Yeah, thank you. Will do. And for those who maybe didn't see last week's episode, I first recommend going back, taking a listen on any podcast platform, exactly, or watching on YouTube, because look, you need a lot of context for this show. And to be fair, the first episode did not give us context for what we were getting into, but at least like in terms of our retelling of the show, like you got to go back, you got to hear Grace describe these characters, because we're not going to rehash that this week or ever again. It's too much. It's too much. But anyways, if you did watch it, then you heard me say a little theory, perhaps, that I'm building about the Neptunes, the main characters of this show, Jabberjaw, that I think perhaps, maybe, just maybe, they may be alien creatures from another world. And Jabberjaw likewise is, or that's why he like doesn't want to eat them, because he's like, oh, those aren't humans. Ooh, they're not tasty. Ooh. Anyway, and why?
So it's not everyone in this undersea world is an alien, just the 4 humans. Maybe JJ.
Yeah, maybe also Jabberjaw. That's it. Yeah, no one else. I'm not saying that this show actually takes place on some alien planet that's actually all underwater. It's on Earth, but the Neptunes are from space. Okay, and they landed in the ocean. That's my theory.
Okay. I just wanted to check. I do think a future episode will shed some light on at least Jabberjaw's origin story. But
good. Okay.
The humans,
well, I'm excited.
I have no fucking idea.
Yeah, they're the B characers. Like, we don't get backstory for them.
That's not called
Jabberjaw's show.
Neptunes. It's called Jabberjaw.
Right. He's the one we care about. So we're going to like paint a background story for them. Beautiful. But the reason why I will, and the very first brushstroke we're going to do here, it's exactly why I have this theory. Because today's adventure, this is from episode 2, the second episode of Jabberjaw. So it's like, I'll just follow you up with episode 2. Today's adventure begins in the spaceship of an alien being from far, far away.
What?
A straight up spaceship. We see it, flying through space, past the stars, all of this twinkling in the night sky. A straight up spaceship. Okay. And so that's why I think something has to do with aliens in this show. Call me crazy, but I think
the fact that aliens exist in this show, your theory has a strong start, I thought.
Yeah, so we'll see, but there's more. But wait, there's more. So inside of this spaceship, we see the captain, who is the evil Commander Domax, a green beetle-looking alien who is surrounded by a crew of mantis-looking alien henchmen. So like praying mantis-looking aliens. They're like anthropomorphized manti. And by the way, I would say too, I'm not sure if you remember or are familiar with the show Space Ghost, or like Space Ghost Coast to Coast. It was on Cartoon Network when we were younger. And so the original Space Ghost was a 1960s Hanna-Barbera show and character. Oh. And they literally, the main villain in that show is literally the exact animation as these henchmen. Like, I saw it.
The exact same cell animation. They passed it.
Exact same. They just maybe changed his color a little bit, because I was watching it and I was like, is that Zorak from Space Ghost?
Holy shit. Okay, we love the laziness.
We love it. We love the laziness, as we talked about last week. This show just poaches off of literally everything else that was popular at the time. They
had to get the famous musicians. Mm-hmm. They don't have time to animate a new bug alien. Okay? Mm-hmm. The musicians are on a tight turnaround. They have to record at least 16 songs.
It's busy.
Or however many episodes there are.
Exactly. Yeah. They're like, this isn't the animation business. This is the music business. And we're just drawing cartoons to go with music. We don't care about that. Just use Zorak from Space Ghost.
What do you have on hand?
Villain. Yeah. He was an alien, right?
Yeah, he is now.
But yeah, it's hilarious because Space Ghost came out 10 years before this. So they were literally just like, pluck and copy and paste.
Back to the file.
So yes. Anyways. So this Commander Domax, he announces his mission and goals to his henchmen as he's steering his ship towards planet Earth. And it is a very simple and pretty stereotypical and cliche alien mission: invade the entire planet and colonize the human race. Why? Okay. We don't know. What he wants to do after colonizing us, couldn't tell you, but he wants to do it, and that's all that matters.
True. That's, average Tuesday for an alien.
Exactly. So Domax, he then hops on like a little video chat pretty much with the alien's secret Earth contact.
Oh.
Yes. A mysterious, shadowy figure who's essentially laid the groundwork for Domax's overall invasion plan. So he's got a man on the inside.
Wow.
In the Earth contact. Yeah, this is deep shit. This is like some deep state shit going on here.
I know. Damn.
So the Earth contact informs Domax that tonight at 8 p.m., because even alien invaders run on a tight schedule, he's got to send a scout ship, an alien scout ship, over the local fairgrounds of a town called Hydrostan. Again, hydro, just add hydro, aqua, whatever to
water
something.
Terms.
And boom, exactly. And send the scout ship over the fairgrounds in Hydrostan, and then they will be able to pick up, Domax and his ship will be able to pick up an Earth identification device, which is essentially like a little box that each ship has that allows them, that allows them to get in and out of the cities, or gives them access to the city. So it IDs who's in the ship. So that's actually kind of a cool
situation.
Yeah, exactly. A cool little futuristic concept that whatever. This show has a lot of issues, but
my immediate thought and question is like, okay, so yeah, like forged passports and stuff. Like,
yeah.
Are these praying mantis creatures just gonna like stand at customs, like
exactly
acting like they're the human?
Exactly.
It's
gonna say, it's like, so they flash the box showing that they have it, and like the guards look at them like, you're absolutely an alien.
Yeah, because also I feel like maybe we didn't emphasize this during my episode, but like Jabberjaw is the only creature interacting with humans.
Yeah,
like
everyone else is a human.
Yeah, human or like robot entity, but there's no like multiple animals running around. It's like just Jabberjaw, and every other animal is a normal animal.
Yeah.
So that's why the showing up of giant bugs
would be concerning. Subtle. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, much like Scooby-Doo, where you have this dog who can kind of talk and can communicate with animals in this world or with humans. In this world of like only regular, that is Jabberjaw, except he's more annoying. So so the secret Earth agent contact, whatever, he's rolling through this plan, or running Domax through this plan, and Domax thanks him for his loyalty and says that the plan's flawless and it won't fail. They're gonna be totally successful in overtaking Earth. And so he dives the ship deep down into, of course, the ocean, and towards the exotic underwater city of Hydrostan to begin phase 1 of the invasion. And at this point, I just kind of laughed because, and it goes back to your thing with Dr. Lowe, kind of like, although he wasn't an alien, like if your plan is to conquer Earth,
why are you doing paperwork?
why are you going underwater? It's fun. It's like all of the humans are the ones that like run the shit,
Yeah,
but like conquering Earth. I guess there are people underwater, obviously, in this world, but it also is funny to me because I always like joke around with my brother saying, like, if aliens ever invaded, they would absolutely. And you mentioned it last week, kind of unknowing that I was going to go here, but if aliens were to invade Earth, like they would absolutely go to the ocean because Earth is like more than 80% water and the oceans are like 90% of that water. So they would be like, yeah, this is like a water planet with a few green patches. Like, of course we want to know what's in the ocean.
Here.
So that's where they would be. And I just laugh that Domax goes straight there when it's like, wait a minute, why are you going to the ocean if you want to conquer human civilization, other than the fact that they're all underwater in this show?
If you fuck up the oceans, it's going to fuck up a lot in the world.
This is true.
But also, I wonder if in 2076, none of us are on land anymore. And thus, they're like, the only place humans are now.
This is true, yeah.
Are underwater because they've nuked themselves.
Yes. Which is
all to be underwater.
Possibly likely to happen by 2076.
Yeah, exactly.
So, anyways, after Domax
or that's
dives
just where
down,
the fair was.
That's where it was, yeah.
The intel guy, he was like, I live here. I'm not going to the surface. You come to me.
Yeah, exactly. Come down here, please.
Yes.
It's too hot up there. So meanwhile, as Domax has dived down and he's, starting to fly over Hydrostan, we see, meanwhile, the Neptunes, aka our 5 heroes, the band, the main characters, Jabberjaw and the gang. They are desperate for cash and traveling by underwater bus to Hydrostan.
Okay.
Coincidence? And here in Hydrostan, they are obviously scheduled to play a show at the Flying Saucer Convention and hopefully make some much needed money. And Biff, he's like listening to the radio. The Flying
Sorry,
Saucer.
I just clicked what you just said.
Yes. More
Flying
alien
Saucer
talk.
Convention. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Also, it's a niche interest. You're gonna get customers from all over the underwater world who are into that kind of stuff.
It's a geek con situation.
But also, is it like a flying saucer underwater? Because it's not flying, it's floating. Whatever. It's just a submarine at that point, right?
Maybe it's like a retro con of being like, remember 50 years ago, it was only 2024 and they still called them flying saucers.
How retro.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyways, Biff hears on the radio that an alien spaceship was spotted in the skies just earlier. The skies over Hydrostan, obviously. Okay. And he then hatches a very clever and lucrative idea in his little brain. Again, they need some money. So he's like, how do we get some extra cash off of this? Let's capitalize on this alien invasion. So the Neptunes, he says, they're going to stage a publicity stunt.
Oh my God.
They build a spacecraft, a fake spacecraft, dress up as aliens, fly around in the spacecraft over Hydrostan, eventually landing at their gig on stage and then starting their performance as if they are the alien invaders.
That's pretty fucking cool. All right. I thought they were just gonna cool. I thought they were just gonna fly around and be like, pew, 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 we are aliens. But at first, what an entrance to their own show.
Wouldn't that be awesome? Yeah. And so Shelly is shitting on this idea. She's like, that's so stupid. Like, I don't want to build a spaceship. I think that's so dumb. But, freaking marketing, exactly. And on the other hand, Jabberjaw loves the idea. He's like hyping Biff up as he's saying it. And Jabberjaw, being a potentially vicious great white shark, gets whatever he wants.
Yeah.
So they say, Jabberjaw, yeah, cool, we'll do. You like it? Cool. Please don't eat us. Please don't eat everyone on this bus right now. And I would also, again, like to point out that this is a bus full of humans and a giant great white shark who happens to be sitting on Clamhead's lap. By the way.
God, yes, he often does.
So his head, Jabberjaw's head is push up against the roof of the bus, and he's all hunched
all
in and on Clamhead.
Staring.
Yes. Which, again, building off of your episode last week when you said that those two henchmen weren't able to lift Jabberjaw, I was like, please. Clamhead has Jabberjaw on his lap all the time, and it's no problem. And I was like, does he have like superhuman strength? Is he like an alien?
Exactly. Is he not even human?
Human?
Perhaps.
Anyways. So after the gang, they get off the bus and they get settled into Hydrostan. They immediately get to work on building their spaceship, which I will say they do very easily. Like they just kind of like
they know how to build one
together. Yeah, I guess do it with these. So suck on that, Elon Musk. What's your excuse?
GG easy.
So, yeah. Clamhead and Jabberjaw, Clam and Jabber, we'll call them. They put on space helmets, aka just kind of like fish bowls with little antennas popping out of them.
Classic.
And they climb into the spaceship and they volunteer to be the ones to like fly over the city and pretend to be aliens landing and invading, while Biff, Shelly, and Bubbles wait at the fairgrounds where the UFO or the flying saucer convention is taking place, by the way, where they will then like announce and like say like, oh my God, look, there's a flying saucer, etc. Get the crowd all involved in it, right?
Do the crowd work.
Do the crowd work. Get those tips. Do that panhandling while you're at it. And mind you, that all of this has to happen, this whole stunt has to happen in time for their gig that begins at 8 p.m. Again, at the fairgrounds in Hydrostan.
Okay.
And so just as Jabber and Clam are approaching the fairgrounds, they're, flying around in this makeshift, like rinky-dink spaceship. So even though they put it together quickly, it's actually not that safe looking, probably. And as they're flying, this mysterious black box of sorts is beamed into their fake ship, surprising them and scaring them. Like, what the fuck? Where did this just come from? We have no idea. But before they can get a closer look at the object, they look up and see a spaceship is heading directly towards them head on. Real spaceship. They're like, oh my God, that spaceship looks way more convincing than ours. And they like rub their eyes. Oh my God, that's a real spaceship. What is it doing here? And so Clamhead, he's the one flying or driving. He quickly steers away, but the spaceship, the actual spaceship, begins chase. And although Clamhead and Jabber have no idea what this mysterious box is, at this point, they're like, okay, they're chasing us right after we accidentally got this. Pretty sure they want this box that just was beamed into our ship, obviously accidentally. So the secret Earth contact, the alien, who is still this like shadowy figure that we just see on on a TV screen, he immediately messages Domax and tells him that the identification device was accidentally beamed to the wrong ship. Like, oh,
wow, a pretty big
crossed wires. Yeah, like pretty massive. Not gonna lie. Yeah. Did you think no other ship would be in the area at that time? Like 8 p.m.'s not that late to be out.
Yeah,
and driving.
You can't tell the difference between like your overlord's nice ass ship and like this other one / like wouldn't you have just better communication? Like, okay, and then flash your lights when you're ready for me to beam it. Like,
exactly.
8 p.m. sounds like the only planning they've done.
Exactly. This time. Yeah. And so I will say it shows this Earth contact like trying to, or not even trying, it shows him beaming the box out. Like he clearly knows which ship is which. But I guess like the technology over, right? Yeah, or I don't know. I think the technology is just so bad that like you can't pick and choose which ship it goes to. Like you have to have blind faith that no other ship will be flying in that exact area at 8 p.m. Which they're like, this is foolproof.
Of us being like, why are there still operators? You live in an undersea civilization successfully. Like it's that vibe of like, but you have aliens coming down from space, but you can't triangulate.
I know, like which ship is which. You can't target something being beamed to a specific ship. It just has to go to a ship that is in the area. Like, really? Huh. I feel like you can make a spaceship in 5 seconds if you live in Hydrostan, but you can't beam something. Yeah, exactly. But
there's like
one downside
on the advancements here.
Yeah. So, hey, they're making their way though. It's only 2076. Maybe by the year 3000, they'll have it figured out.
More accurate.
Too bad Domax can't wait that long. He needs to colonize and take over this planet now. So after the Secret Earth contact informs Domax of this, he essentially orders them to, stop that ship and anyone inside of it, and that they've got to be captured and held prisoner at any cost.
Okay.
So meanwhile,
wait, is he ordering this to the Earth contact or his praying mantis?
The Earth contact is actually in a power move ordering Domax this. Yeah. He's like, I work too hard for this shit. Like, please. Like, yeah. But again, Domax turns around. Yeah, right. But Domax turns around and then tells his henchman, like, okay, go do it.
All right, that's fine.
Do what he says. Yes.
He's like, don't undermine my power in front of my people.
Yes. You heard me. I'm in charge here. Kind of. So meanwhile, as all of these shenanigans are going on, not in the air, what do you call it? Higher up in the ocean.
Yeah. In the I don't fucking know.
I don't know. Biff, Shelly, and Bubbles are the other 3 members of the Neptunes, for those who didn't join us last week and haven't gone back for whatever reason.
Like we told you to.
We told you to. We warned you. We're not doing any context on them. So any background context. So these 3, they're still at the fairgrounds and they're just kind of like looking up at the sky or whatever the fuck, waiting for Clamhead and Jabberjaw to arrive in the spaceship. And, their patience is wearing a little thin, aka Shelly mostly is starting to complain that this is taking too long. And they look up and not only see their fake spaceship, but they see another very not fake spaceship right on its tail, viciously chasing Clamhead and Jabberjaw above these fairgrounds. And so they're like, oh my God, that's a real spaceship. Like,
is no one on the ground freaking out yet?
We don't see anyone on the ground. I guess it's 8 p.m. That's late in Hydrostan. Everyone's in bed. The convention starts later.
It's about to happen.
I guess. Yeah. And actually, that's such a good point. We see a lot of people in a second, but yet no one sees this or, well, put a short pin in that. Well, yeah, that's okay though. So just as, they see these spaceships chasing around and going crazy, we then go up and see Clamhead. He's like trying to steer all over and outfly this other spaceship, this real alien spaceship that's chasing them for reasons that they are unaware of at this point. And seeing that openly, why can't I talk? Seeing that openly chasing this ship over the skies of Hydrostan would kind of give away the whole secret invasion type thing. Yes. The real aliens are like, okay, you know what? Let's fall back. Like, this is probably not the best place to try to retrieve this identification box. And also, we don't have the identification thing, so we can't actually get in to Hydrostan still. So they're like, just fall back, regroup. We'll come up with a plan to get that and essentially kill these teenagers who have gotten in our way. So Jabber and Clamhead, they make their way to the Flying Saucer Convention and like low key just like crash land and run into a lot of tents and like exhibits and destroy the whole place.
Honestly, still a good entrance.
It is because when they land, it is very rock and roll, very anarchist as well. Like, fuck the man, destroy all this shit. I am
imagining that like there's just a line of fire behind them as like they skid
there
through.
Might as well have been.
Yeah. The drums start by Jabberjaw. Or like Biff is already on the stage, does like a nice lick on his guitar.
Yeah. Shelly just like shaking her tambourine. It's crazy.
They're like, shut up, Shelly, you're not making it cool anymore.
Aww. So, but yeah, this is a very exciting and not going to lie, massive rock and roll entrance because a massive crowd of the convention goers who are there, apparently they just didn't see the other alien ship. They all run up and want to see what's going on when this fake flying saucer lands right in front of them. And Biff, he like takes this moment, runs up to the crash scene and gets on his soapbox. And he's like, ladies and gentlemen, presenting a musical group that is famous throughout the galaxy, the Neptunes. And they all like, the audience starts to cheer as like all five of them like start waving, like, yeah, we did it. Oh, cool. But then when Clamhead and Jabberjaw get out of the ship,
oh no.
For whatever reason, Jabberjaw takes off his like fake little spaceman helmet. And the crowd quickly goes from like cheers of excitement to like shouts and scream of fear.
How about the great white fucking shark that just crashed?
It is like 2 feet in front of them. They're like, oh, it's a shark. And they just like scatter like a riot stampede type thing breaks out. And mind you, so much of the convention has been destroyed by them crash landing. So it's just pure chaos at this point.
Good. Excellent. The aliens are like, do we want to take this place over?
This place looks a little janky. I don't know.
Wait, this ocean is filled with sharks. Why are they freaking out about this one? Are they dumb?
Are they stupid? And he's like clearly not attacking them. But I will say this is another moment. Like Jabberjaw clearly gets angered. Like this these writers were very clearly inspired by like the Jim Crow movement and like the 60s riots and like racial equality boycotts and everything, because it is clear that Jabberjaw is treated like a second-class citizen.
Yeah,
like they look at him and they're like, oh my god, it's a shark, he's gonna eat us, he's so dangerous. Like, oh my god, honey, hold my purse, don't let him.
I thought you were about to say something. They got out fire hoses. Which is so fucked up to say,
but hilarious.
But also once again,
because they're underwater.
That's like just why it's funny.
Yeah.
And they're just spraying a shark who can breathe underwater, with so he's fine.
Yeah, with very high pressurized water. Yeah, so Jabberjaw is obviously like very sad and like upset by this. I'm like, dude, at any moment Jabberjaw could snap and just eat all of you. Like, I would not be pointing a finger and making fun of him or screaming at him or being like, oh, you're less than I am.
Yeah, you guys are just meant to chum in this place right now. Easy pickings.
So yeah, easy pickings. He looks like he considers it for a second, I will say. And then he's like, wait, no, that's right. They'll kill me then. So anyways, after the crowd scatters and we just essentially see the destruction of the entire fairgrounds, we then see like, I guess the owner of the fairgrounds or whoever, like the organizer of this convention, he storms towards the band, towards all five of them. And he's like, what the hell are you doing? What was all of this about? And Biff tries to explain, like, it was just a publicity stunt. Like, we were just trying to get people excited for our gig, you know? And the dude's like, there is no gig. Press. Yeah, right. Hey. We got to get them talking. I don't care what they're saying about us, as long as they're saying something about us.
As long as our name's in their mouths, we don't care.
Yeah. And so at this point, though, the owner of the fairgrounds or whatever, he's like, yeah, no, gig's off. You're out of here. It's canceled. You're not allowed on this property anymore. You've literally destroyed the fairgrounds and scared away all of my customers.
You're about to be even more broke than you already were, because now you owe me millions of dollars.
Millions, quite literally. And the city, too. There's a lot of tax revenue they were going to bank on from this. Biff, he again tries to apologize, but the owner is like, guards, he calls the guards in, like cuts them off, and these robot guards come in and just like pick all of them up and throw all the band members just right off the property. And so knowing that this was just a total mistake, a total misunderstanding, and that the real aliens are to blame for the whole debacle and destruction of the fairgrounds, Big like in a sense, but like you guys are too, so it's okay. You guys are both to blame. How about that?
Yeah, you You're not innocent, Biff. Your hands are not free of blood by this idea.
No, they're actually very covered in blood. You actually are mostly to blame. Yes. But hilariously that you said Bubbles is the narc, because like I laughed thinking about that when you said that last week, but I was like, oh, in my episode, actually, Biff is the one who suggests that they go to the police station. Yes.
Oh, because he's trying to clear his own name.
He is. He's like, shit,
that's the only reason.
Yeah, I got it. Well, and I think he definitely feels at least a little bit at fault to the group here, because again, mind you, like they just got fired from a gig. So it's not just like they got kicked out of something, like they also just lost a jobs, and they lost a job and they need the money. And of course, Shelly, being who she is like bitching at Biff this entire time. Like, there you go again. You've done it again. So apparently this is common for Biff too, by the way. He gets them fired from their gigs a lot. Yeah. So I guess this time he's like taking ownership and he's like, all right, guys, fine. Let's go to the police. This is my bad.
I have some further theories about Biff and what I actually think is happening, which perfectly will tie into my episode next week.
God, I can't wait.
That he's actually trying to just get ahead of like the fairground owner reporting him directly and being like, Biff Neptune. This height, blah, 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 put him on a poster, wanted. So instead, Biff's going to go in with a fake name and be like, it was so crazy. These aliens chased me. No, you can't fingerprint me. I'm going to call my lawyer first. Yeah. And he's trying to get ahead, perhaps, of someone else reporting him.
Fair. He might be. Yeah. He might be smarter than he looks. And also, this is random, but seeing as every other character in this show has an underwater theme. Well, I guess Jabberjaw doesn't technically, but it's because he's a shark.
He's a fucking shark.
What does Biff mean?
I don't know. I thought about looking that up, and every time I think about it, I forget.
I'm not going to do it now. Maybe we'll do it between this episode and next week. So you do it while because I'm like, I don't feel like grabbing my phone or exiting out of my script or moving my script, but feel free to look at that while I try to remember where I was in my script.
I don't know.
So it doesn't mean anything it's saying.
I have no fucking idea with 18 seconds of I don't fucking know what it is. Google did not immediately tell me, so
I'm pretty sure it's because it doesn't mean anything. It's just it's used, honestly. I feel like it's the name of like the stupid mean bully in like old school cartoons, you know, like Biff. So the fact
Biff
that they named him
blow with the fist. It's like a slang for like hitting.
Oh,
what? I don't fucking know.
Shelly and Bubbles better watch out.
They couldn't think of 3 more animals in the ocean, so they were just like, I don't know, the tough guy.
Biff.
With the least tough sounding name.
I know. It just doesn't make sense. Anyway, okay. Well, anyway, again, why are you guys asking so many questions about this show?
Stop asking us questions.
Stop. We don't know.
No one has answers.
So, anyways, the gang, led by Biff.
Led by that punch.
Led by Punch. They go to the police station in Hydrostan to get their side of the story on record, you know, clear their names, as you mentioned, and then hopefully get their gig back at the Flying Saucer Convention. And so after they recount the story to the police inspector, the inspector says, like, well, you know, it's a compelling story, but I'm going to need a little bit more proof before I take any action.
Yeah, great call.
And I will say, yes, also good call, but I will say, in addition to just like retelling him the story, they also give the inspector the actual identification device that was beamed into the ship. So, but I mean, at the same time, it's like, okay, this could just be your identification device. Why are you showing
They're like,
this?
Open it. It has pictures of praying mantis on it.
You'll
2 more seconds of investigating.
Please believe us. And so Jabberjaw, though, he promises that they'll get some more evidence of the aliens.
What?
You know, to appease this inspector who says that he needs more before he, you know, investigates or whatever. And Jabberjaw says that in particular, they'll find the spaceship and prove that the identification device is what the aliens are indeed after. And they leave the identification device with the authorities as evidence. And at this point, clearly annoyed with these over-dramatic teenagers and the massive great white shark in his office, the inspector is like, Sergeant, he like calls the sergeant in and he asks them to like get out of his office, like, Sergeant, show these teens out and, you know, get the fuck out of my office. Right. And I think at one point he also says like, and make sure that they have a pet license for this shark or something like that, which pisses Jabberjaw off quite a bit.
That makes sense.
And it is concerning how much they refer to him as a pet in this show. I don't know.
Again, they're like very sharkophobic, a little xenophobia happening. Also, I'm imagining that like this sheriff at this moment is like, we literally have like 1,600 tourists being flooded to the hospital right now. And we're having to like, our hospital is small. We're not a big city. Like this was our income every year. We are trying to like call families, next of kin, et cetera, deal with incoming calls. I don't have time for you kids being like, here's a black box of information.
And he looks at them closer and he's like, wait, aren't you guys the ones that put those 1,600 tourists in the hospital?
And that's when they were like, we'll find the evidence. Goodbye.
We'll find evidence. See ya. Sergeant, you don't need to show us out. We were already leaving.
They're already out the door.
Gosh. So I will say, though, that this inspector, he actually may be a little bit more interested in this case than you allude to, as much as I love that theory.
Does it say shadowy inspector? Does he have a lot of shadows around
he
him?
Is shadowy. Because after the gang leaves the office and the sergeant, the inspector like looks around, makes sure everything's all clear. And he presses like a button on the badge hanging from his neck or something. And instantly transforms into one of the mantis-looking alien creatures. And he immediately gets on like a little walkie-talkie or whatever, radio communication with Domax, of course, Commander Domax.
And he's like, that was easy.
He's like, that was easy. He's like, hey, I got the box back. So like, we're good. Back in action. Just so you know, though, like these teenagers, they're looking for you, but like, don't worry. I'm pretty sure they're not going to find you. So like, we're good. We're good. And one last thing I'm going to say about this commander is that it's very funny because all of these aliens, like Domax and the henchmen that are on his alien ship, they all talk in like these weird alien voices like this. But then the commander just talks like this, like a normal white man. And so you see like this mantis alien creature just talking like this. But also like the more he talks to Domax, the more his voice goes from this to something more like this. And then it like goes back to normal. So I'm like, who recorded this?
When you're like in, you know, different like cultures, you like for long enough, you pick up the accent a little bit. So that's what he was doing. And then he was like back to speaking in his native tongue. And also so funny that you were like at the start, like, yes, the deep state.
Exactly. That's what I said.
I was like, well, the shadowy figure, like, yeah, maybe, but he's an officer.
Yeah. Not only is he an officer, he's like the inspector. And they make it seem like the inspector is essentially like the head of the police department. Like he's got this massive office with this ornate like office chair that he sits at. All the sergeants do what he says. So yeah, this guy's like in charge of the local police.
This is the 70s. Is this just like a veiled metaphor for the LAPD at this time?
Yeah.
And like the deep corruption.
NYPD, LAPD, name them. You name all of them.
USPD, anyone that needs a place in the US. Especially in the 70s. Interesting.
Yeah, they knew. They're like 1976, it's like this now. It'll probably still be like that in 2076, even if we all move underwater.
Right, there's one thing that won't change. Time.
Yeah, exactly. Right. One thing is constant in life.
Racism, corruption, and xenophobia, corruption by people in power.
Exactly. Again, these themes survive the test of time. Yeah.
Great. Perfect.
So, and again, of course, nobody else sees this. So this is still secret and unknown to not only all the other police officers, but also to the Neptunes. So after they leave the police station, Biff tells the gang that the only way to locate this alien spaceship is by sneaking back into the fairgrounds and checking the computer records there to see when the spaceship was sighted the night before.
Okay.
So yeah, fair. I guess that's what they keep it at these conventions. Sure. I've never been to a flying saucer convention, so I cannot say.
We're not versed on the methodology.
Those who are, please inform us. But
don't.
Or don't. Please don't inform us.
Prefer our ignorance, thank you.
Yes. So in order to sneak into these fairgrounds, the gang piles into a it's like a cleaning robot. It's just a very big like metal barrel looking thing with like little vacuums.
Oh yeah.
Like things tubes hanging off of it. I don't know.
Great.
Anyway, they all pile into there and the robot just sort of just rolls right in and they get in. And it's that easy. So they're back. And
I guess, were there any guards to get back?
No. It's just another robot. It was like a robot that I guess it was like a guard robot, but all it did, it stopped the cleaning robot, but only to like throw more trash in it. And so you hear Shelly like yelling that like, this was such a disgusting idea. Yeah. But like, no, it's that easy. So it's almost like they never left. Yeah.
Great.
Cool. And so anyway, they get out the robot, out of the cleaning robot, and they make their way to the computer exhibit room, which, as Biff suggested, conveniently houses information on UFO sightings. And it has like a cute little like label underneath like the door, or like on the door to the room, that says from the year 1976 to the year 2076. So we've got 100 years worth of UFO sighting information in this room.
Wow, cute.
Yeah, cute. How cute. And so inside of this room, they find a tape with the information on the sighting from last night. And they pop that tape in and get all of the info that they need to track down the ship, where they pretty much just hear this guy like reading a record saying that the UFO passed over Hydrostan on a compass setting of 183 degrees, meaning that the gang is hot on the UFO's trail.
Great.
And I just will say, because she's obviously been pretty quiet so far this episode.
What the fuck did Bubbles say? What could she possibly contribute to a compass reading? Navigation.
I'm glad you asked. Because when the guy on the tape says 183 degrees, Bubbles says, oh, and I'm paraphrasing because I didn't actually write it down because I was like, this is so fucking stupid. Bubbles like, oh, 180 degrees, that must be so hot. And Biff is like, no, it means we're hot on their trail. Like, no.
He's like, why didn't you die in that crash?
Funny too, because I will say Bubbles like kind of offered to fly the spaceship over like earlier in the episode, but for whatever reason they were like, no. Like, I guess probably because she fucks everything up.
Yeah, exactly.
She would absolutely crash. Yeah,
because they weren't planning to crash it originally.
Exactly. Yeah, so they probably are now like, damn man, we should have let Bubbles go with the God.
I mean, the aliens would have abducted her.
I know. So yeah, pretty sure that's the only Bubbles line that I didn't even put it in here, but I was like, you know what, since we're just shitting on her, let me go ahead and throw it in. I think that's the only Bubbles line I'll add into this episode.
What if this entire single season is just like the, like behind the band, like behind the scene documentary of like the disintegration of what was a really popular band at one point? Like the final year of a band before they broke up because they all just fucking hate each other so clearly.
That would be such a good premise for the show, actually.
Yeah, they were like gonna make a documentary about like their last tour, but like really behind the scenes they're all just like throwing bottles at each other, like refusing to record at the same time,
each other. Yeah, but that's like so true too, with like how they're at the end of their heyday, because like that's how they keep getting these big shows that aren't like typical shows, but still like you gotta have pretty good booking to get like a convention, but also like no band just like running to play at a flying saucer convention.
Exactly.
But at the same time, it's like, oh, but that is a big audience. So like you have to like have the name to draw in the crowd.
Yes.
Yeah. So like they're in this
like
weird limbo and they absolutely hate each other and are ready to just be done with it.
Yeah, like they all know that this is their last like tour, but like no one's saying it out loud yet.
Yeah.
Cool. Great.
And so, oh my God, the show. So anyway, after figuring out this information about where the UFO is, 183 degrees, compass setting, whatever, from the fairgrounds, they leave there and they follow these directions towards the ship, which again, like life is easy for these kids. Like they find it quickly. Like they hop into one of their like little aqua cars or whatever. And again, like Jabber is like smushed in the back, ready to eat these people at any minute now.
Yeah, he's had a hard day.
Yes, it's been hard. And like they drive for like 2 minutes, maybe tops, outside of Hydrostan, and they're like, oh my God, there's the spaceship, like not hiding, which also is hilarious because the secret Earth contact is like, don't worry, those kids won't find you. I like to find them in like 5 seconds.
The aliens, were they like landed like behind something?
They were like hovering, floating, whatever, like kind of by some rocks, but no, like they were in the open.
I think that they were all like, well, we just won't go up into the sky. That's where they're gonna look. Yeah. Is in the sky. And if we're not in the sky, they'll never find us.
They'll not find us. Exactly. Well, they found you pretty quickly. So anyway, now that they've found the ship, my question for the gang while watching is, okay, now what? You've approached an alien spaceship in a tiny little aqua car / ship of your own. This spaceship has like laser guns pointing out of it, like all sorts of defensive and offensive mechanisms coming out of it. And they're just in like what you described last week, like a Mini Cooper of like underwater vessels.
Which also, like, are they just going to knock on the door and be like, hey, the fairgrounds owner is sending his lawyers after us saying we're liable for this damage. Could you come in and take the blame? Oh no, it's not their plan.
They're not going to knock, actually. They just walk right in. Grace.
Oh no. You know what? That's a real 70s cartoon move. It's just B&Es. No one locked their doors back then, you know?
No one locked their doors. Like, so, and this was Shelly's idea, by the way, too, because Shelly apparently heard me asking this through my TV screen. I was like, what are you going to do? And she's like, okay, now we just need to walk on in, catch one of the aliens, and then we'll have proof to show to the police. So simple, right?
In my mind, I'm like, is the plan?
It's kidnapping.
So are they the villains? This episode?
Vigilante justice, yet again. A common theme in this podcast. So we go inside of the spaceship and we literally see Commander Domax like in the middle of wargaming his invasion plan. He's got like a map of Earth on the wall and he's like pointing to everything while his henchmen are behind him, like taking notes and like pulling controls and stuff. And then like a garage door type thing leading to this room, and the ship just opens up to the war room. And we just see the Neptunes one by one just casually stroll. As Domax is wargaming. And they just stroll in like they own the joint. Like, all right, cool. Looks pretty cool in here. You must be Domax, huh? Huge confidence. Confidence.
They're like, and so Shelly's like, you know who I am. Shelly of the Neptune.
I'm the most famous. Exactly. I'm the most famous tambourine player in the deep blue sea.
The galaxy. Yeah. You've heard of me.
Surely, right? Oh my God. That makes the next couple of lines so much funnier. Okay. So the gang tries to convince Domax and his henchmen, and this again goes back to my theory, that they too are aliens.
Oh.
And that they seek to conquer Earth. And since they got to Earth first, Domax and his crew need to back off.
You know what? That's a good ploy, especially like if Shelly's leading it, because Shelly loves to argue.
She does. She's like, bring it. Like, I'm ready. I'll debate. Let's do it.
Fight
and so Shelly was the one who's leading it. I forget what planet they said they were from, but like it rolled right off her tongue. Jabberjaw was like, yeah, we're from there, blah, blah, blah. And all of them, like, they look convincing. And like, it took no time for them to come up with this lie. So I was like, oh, maybe they're actually just telling us the truth.
No whites behind their eyes.
They have superhuman or inhuman strength.
They literally have a giant great white shark backing them up and speaking.
As their friend. Yeah, they seem to speak a different language most of the time. Freaking Clamhead saying like, wow, and yabba, 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 all these different things.
These aliens, these actual praying mantis aliens are familiar with like their own kind taking human form.
Yeah, exactly.
To like get around.
Yeah.
Okay, I see it. And maybe the Neptunes were like, we're gonna come conquer Earth. Mm-hmm. And they discovered the power of music, and we're like, let's just sidetrack this really quick.
They're like, we can conquer Earth with the power of music.
Yes, exactly.
Which, look at Beyonce and Taylor Swift.
I mean, exactly, $1 billion babes. So that's maybe what they're in here for the long game. Yeah. And that's why they keep taking down other villains, because they're like, no.
This is our turf, okay?
Yes, exactly. They've been here for a long time. They're gonna use fame. Like, people are so obsessed with celebrities and like follow them so blindly that the celeb stands that not a bad plan to conquer Earth.
No, not at all. Yeah, it'd be easy, especially to do it through the arts and stuff like that. That's probably the best way to do it. Yeah. Not that we're getting any ideas here, but
or anything. All right, I see. I could see it.
So anyways, yes. And so you see it, and Domax maybe sees it a little bit too, because he's like, if you are indeed an alien, show me one of your alien powers. Okay. He's like, I can do.
Shelly's like, have you seen my
start shredding? And Domax is like, wow, it's dancing with me.
Their little alien praying mantis toes. Start dancing.
But like they're just standing like that.
Just kind of dancing, bobbing.
Yes. Oh my god, I wish that would have been a better way to like end out this episode, but no. So the gang is not able to convincingly show him any sort of special power that they have. So Domax is like, okay, you guys aren't aliens. Throw them in the cell, henchmen. Like, get them out of here. But before the henchmen capture all of the Neptunes, the gang, they're able to make a break for it. They run away through the ship and hide in what is called the teleporter room, which is currently occupied by a single one of the like mantis looking alien henchmen, just like typing away and like pulling controls and stuff, like facing away from the door. Poor guy. His name's probably like Jeff or something, super innocent. He's a nerd. He's just trying to get a paycheck to feed his family. This poor guy. But
they're the ones who think that the triangulation of the black box got fucked up and it's all Jeff's fault. So he's in there like, I got it. Before he tries to send the box again, I got to recalculate all of this. Oh God. God.
See massive calculations on like the wall and everything. He's just trying to debug this program. He just can't find where he fucked up the code.
Exactly.
It's been
he's under so much pressure right now.
Yeah, he really is.
He's got praying mantis mouths to feed at home.
Exactly. His wife is about to eat his head if he doesn't come back with a decent bonus. She's gonna eat his head regardless, but he might as well have a bonus. It'll be sooner. So the gang, they see poor Jeff working away, pulling out his mantis hairs over this coding error that he's fucked up. They look at each other and they're like, here's our proof for the police inspector.
Oh no, they're gonna kidnap Jeff.
Let's fucking kidnap Jeff.
Jeff, no!
Poor Jeff.
Oh, man.
Let me just say, for a mantis-looking alien creature, Jeff is so adorable. And I love, like, yes, his name is Jeff now. This is just, it is what it is. None of these characters. Domax is the only alien with an actual name.
It doesn't even matter.
We go
Jeff.
from Domax to Jeff.
That's how you can tell, like, his ranking in this alien race is that he's just the account. He's just moving numbers around. He's just trying to, like,
doing what he can.
Yeah, make sure the books are clean, make sure the navigation makes sense.
Yeah.
Like the fact that the teleportation pod is also his office is like they were like, Jeff, HQ made us take you. Here's your freaking office in the back corner.
Here,
like,
sit in here. Like,
we don't even want to see you.
Has his little brown paper bag lined.
A little briefcase.
Okay. Takes off his hat and his coat. Plops down and just crunches numbers all day.
He gets out
codes
his
communication lunch. Software all day.
Gets out his lunch that his wife made. And he's like, "Oh, look, a hard-boiled egg," and tries to crack it, but it was accidentally a real egg. So now there's an egg. And he's like,
egg yolk.
Could this day get any worse? And then the
Domax storms in. Jeff, you fucked up the communication. What the fuck happened, Jeff?
He's like sending his wife a message. Gonna be another late night at the office, honey. Sorry. And then the Neptune storm in.
Neptune, exactly at that exact moment. And they walk up to poor Jeff right as he's going through all this pain after a hard day. His wife is berating him. And yeah, they walk up to him and they're like, Domax's orders. And he's like, whoa, what are the orders? No. They're like, you've been ordered to come with us and act as a spy on Earth to carry out this mission. And Jeff, he's like, oh my God, like I've never been in the field before. I'm always here behind the desk,
man.
He's so cute because he's like in his little alien voice. He's like, but I don't look like a spy. I don't look like a human.
Just believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself, Jeff. You got this. You can do this. You've been working for this moment. Today's your day. You got
this. Your day to shine. Like, this day is turning around for you.
Wipe
that egg yolk off. Yeah. Your tie. Get in there, Jeff.
And Jabberjaw and Shelly say, oh, don't worry about it, Jeff. Like, you're going to be fine. Like, we'll do a makeover. We'll make you look just like the average human.
Oh, no.
So they plop him down into, like, the salon-style chair. They just Shelly puts a bunch of makeup on and throws a blonde wig on his head. So it's just like a praying mantis with, like, lipstick. Red eyeshadow or like a lot of eyeshadow with like mascara and like a curly blonde wig. And he just sitting there like, aw.
I like to imagine that Jeff is like, this is the most beautiful I've ever felt. Finally, someone's paying attention to me. Jeff.
This is amazing. It's been the best day ever. I almost forgot about being banned to this room and this room only. Poor Jeff, he's got his spirits up high. He's like, wow, we're going into the field. We're really doing this. I can't believe it.
I'm going to get such a good bonus.
I don't know at what point he realizes that this is a kidnapping. But the next scene, we just see them all in the police station.
I mean, you know what? Maybe he still thinks he probably knows that the other spy is a cop. So he's like,
think he
okay,
does. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's funny though, because they're in the police station and like the Neptunes are like holding Jeff's arms like behind his back. Like he's clearly being like hostage by them. I think they took the makeup and the wig and stuff off of him too, because like he just looks normal again. So maybe he was like, okay, I don't like it as much as I thought I did. Maybe check it off.
Jeff, maybe like they entered the water and immediately just washed away. But I like to imagine the reason why he hasn't like tried to get away yet is he was like, my wife's always telling me I'm always by the book. I'm never impulsive. You know what? I told her this would be the year of yes, the year of Jeff.
Do it, Jeff. Yeah.
The makeup made me feel confident. I'm going to keep saying yes today. The day was going so horribly because I kept saying no. This is a new year, new Jeff.
Max needs me to go on the ground and actually run a field mission. I get to actually be a spy. Yes. Am I ready for this? No, but yes, I will do it. Thank you, Max. It's kind of starting to feel like a hostage situation.
No, Jeff, stay in the zone. Jeff, it's your year of yes.
Which would also be a hilarious premise for a movie or a show, like someone trying to like have a New Year's resolution like that, and they say yes to something, and then just immediately end up being a hostage. Yeah, like shit. You heard it here first. That's the
silver lining somewhere in here. You got to get through the rough times to get to the good.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Jeff, your wife always says you're so negative. See the positive here.
See the positive. See the positive.
I'm no longer behind the desk. I'm seeing the universe. Like this job promised I finally would. Getting out there.
There are no windows in that teleportation room. I could never see what we were flying by in space. They would have let me look out. But
when I get home,
this is the real world inside of a police station. This is the real world.
When I get home and tell my wife I was a spy today, she's going to rip up those divorce papers.
She's going to finally let me see the kids again. I saved our planet.
I'm going to win so many. I'm going to win the Purple Heart here.
Yeah.
She's going to want me back so fast.
She'll never eat my head. She'll never eat my head.
This is my year.
This is going back a bit, but I also imagine the reason why they took his makeup off, it didn't wash off. It lasted fine and everything. But when they showed him to the inspector with makeup on, he's like, hi, young lady. It's nice to meet you. Like, no, this is an alien. So they had to off the makeup. He's like, oh my God, you're an alien. Yeah, ma'am, how can I help you? Are these teenagers annoying you or bothering you in some way?
Sir, have you been kidnapped?
Ma'am, is this I don't know if you know this, but there's a 15-foot long great white shark behind you. Are you okay? Please blink once. Blink twice if you need help. Jeff is just like, I have no clue what's going on.
When the cops screamed when they took the makeup off, Jeff stood up a little taller and was like, I'm beautiful with or without makeup. I know that now.
Rips his wig off. This is who I really am.
No one can change Jeff.
Keeps the face makeup, but wig off. He's like, this is the perfect balance for me. Oh, man. So... yeah, anyway, this doesn't really work because duh. And as I told you before, the inspector is actually the deep state secret contact who has been helping Domax. So when the teens bring poor Jeff in as evidence, Jeff is a piece of evidence now in this investigation.
My wife said I was
put him in a bag. We put him in a bag and store him in a room. All right, Jeff.
He just goes back into a windowless room.
Yeah.
Aww.
I traded one life of misery for another. Man.
At least I had a flash of glory.
Yeah. Although this is probably the most exciting day Jeff's had in a long time. So even, through it all, this is probably good that he said yes to this. Yeah, this assignment. So the inspector, though, he admits, upon seeing this alien now standing in front of him, he's like, wow, you teens are actually a lot smarter than I thought. But he then admits to them that he has even more proof of the impending alien invasion. And so he again presses that button on his badge that's hanging from his neck, and he immediately transforms into a mantis-looking alien creature, revealing himself, of course, to be the secret Earth contact. And I wasn't going to say it, but one more line from our fave.
Does she even know what's happening?
No.
What did Bubbles say?
When he presses the button and changes, she's like, wow, how'd you do that?
Even Jeff looks at her and is like,
yes. Jeff's like, bitch.
You just saw a whole ship of us.
And No, it's funny though. Yeah, because like she clearly has no idea what's going on because everyone else in the band in unison is like, oh my God, he's one of them. Exactly. Yeah. Like, oh no,
big reveal.
He's an infiltrator. And Bubbles is like, wow, how'd you do that?
Wow, it was just a costume like we did on Jeff.
Your costume looks way better than Jeff's. Oh man, yeah, Bubbles, good Lord. So anyway, the inspector, he gives it away.
Yep.
Shows that he is indeed working with Domax, and the gang's like, oh shit, we gotta go. So they try to run out of there.
Did they leave Jeff behind?
They do. They leave Jeff behind. Jeff's like, okay, I guess I'll hang out here now.
Rejected again.
Yeah. And so before, though, the gang can escape from the police station, the secret Earth contact, the police inspector, they never give him a name, so I don't know what to call him, but he's able to, he like presses a button and in classic 70s cartoon fashion, it like drops a cage on top of the gang as they're trying to run away. And so not Jeff. Oh my God, poor Jeff. Oh, I want justice for Jeff.
Jeff is just sitting there like this because the inspector was like, God, they picked you, Jeff. God damn it, don't touch anything.
You can't even do anything here. Just go.
God, you got kidnapped by humans, Jeff. God damn it.
They would be like, Jeff, you would get kidnapped. What the hell, Jeff?
God, Jeff.
And meanwhile, I just thought of how funny this is too. The teleporter room is like unmanned right now, so you just see like shit like teleporting all over the place.
But also, I like to think that no one else on the ship realizes that Jeff's gone, which is more sad.
It is. They definitely don't know he's They're
gone. Just like, God damn it, he's fucking up in there again. He'll fix it. Whatever.
He'll fix it. Whatever. Guys, go back there and see if Jeff's fine. But it's hot and stinky back there. But it's
Jeff.
Yeah, you're right. Fine. We'll check in with him later. If it keeps happening for like 30 more minutes, we'll go back and see if he's alive or not.
But like, damn, he'll get it together.
He'll get it
Classic
together.
Jeff.
Probably for now. So yes, the inspector, he's like looking at the kids in the cage saying like, okay, well, this should hold you now until our invasion is complete. Okay. But then Jabberjaw
is a great white
away.
Fucking shark.
Exactly. He reminds them that he is a massive great white shark who can likely break through the cage at any minute and eat them if he wants to. Again, another moment where he could snap and kill literally everyone in sight. But instead, he, just kind of shows that he can bend the cage a little bit. And at this point, the aliens are like, oh shit, yeah, you're right. Like we should probably actually get out of here. Yeah, this isn't going to hold you for too long.
We are just large bugs and you are a great white shark.
You are a great white shark. You can absolutely kill us in any minute.
Yeah.
So the aliens instead decide to put the gang in a rocket and shoot them into outer space. So
okay. Cool.
They load them up into the rocket and they keep them in the cage in the rocket, by the way.
Just in case.
And just in case, you never know, they can get out. And they launch them off. And then
did they bring them back to their ship in the cage?
No. So this is some like scout ship or something. This isn't Domax's ship.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, so this isn't like the mothership. This is some other.
Did they like bring the ship to the jail?
Oh, no. So, yeah. Okay. They don't show how this transfer happens, but somehow they transfer the cage to what looks like a straight up like rocket ship launching, like a space, what do you call it? Like a Cape Canaveral, whatever, like where they literally
like the
launch rocket
pad.
ships. Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Like,
cool.
So somehow they transferred them from the prison to there.
Got it. Okay.
They go from being in a cage in the prison cell to showing the spaceship launching off. And
got it. You know what? Maybe they made Jeff teleport them.
Yeah, maybe.
Jeff knows how to run those numbers in code.
He's like, the inspector is like, Jeff, this is your time to shine, man. What do you got for me?
Don't fuck it up, Jeff.
I can do this. He's like, new sense of confidence with the makeup on and the wig.
Puts the wig back on. I can do this.
I can do anything.
The year of Jeff's not over yet. Let's do it.
It's just beginning. This is Jeff's year.
Yeah,
Jeff's
makes
time
a teleportation device right in the precinct.
If I do this, Domax may put a window in my teleportation room in the ship. How kind of him. So, they launch off this rocket. And then the inspector calls Domax and tells him that the meddlers have been taken care of and that they can now move ahead with the Earth invasion plan. But hilariously, as I said before, the gang, like, they're still inside of the cage in the spaceship. But the whole thing was that, remember, they put them in the spaceship because they're like, oh, a cage isn't enough. Like, Jabberjaw can break out of a cage. So as soon as the rocket's in the air, like, Jabberjaw just breaks them out of the cage again.
Maybe they're like, they don't know how to drive a spaceship.
Well, that's part of it. So Biff, he does run to the control and he tries to steer the rocket, but they've put it on, like, they've locked the controls and they've put it on autopilot. Like, but all the more reason why it doesn't matter that they're in a cage, though. It's just,
maybe they just didn't want to risk it being like, if we let them out for even 1 second, it's a great white shark.
Are dangerous. Yeah.
We'll immediately die.
In action. Yeah, they kidnapped Jeff, for crying out loud. They're ruthless. So using Jabberjaw's tail as a rudder, because again, they've now broken out of the cage. They realize they can't steer back to the ocean. So Jabberjaw's like, oh, I've got an idea. He somehow sticks his tail, his back end, out of, like, the exhaust of the rocket or whatever.
Are they still underwater?
No, they're in space.
They reached that. Oh, they fully reached space.
They're in space at this point, which makes this so confusing.
Cool.
He uses his big great white shark tail as a rudder for the ship in space, and it's able to steer the ship back around towards Earth. But somehow, since his tail is like hanging out of the exhaust, the back of the ship, the force of it flying back towards Earth sucks Jabberjaw out of the back of the ship. But like Clamhead grabs onto.
Wait, while he's still in space, he gets sucked out and grabs on?
In space.
So he can also breathe nothing.
Yeah, not only can he breathe air, he can breathe the absence of air.
Okay.
He can breathe in the void.
Maybe he's an alien.
But apparently they can all breathe in the void. Again, are they aliens? Because Clamhead, as Jabber is being sucked out of the back of the ship, Clamhead grabs his fin and is trying to hold him into the ship, this massive great white shark. Again, Clamhead has super inhuman strength, and he's like, oh yeah, I can hold you. But it doesn't work. He gets sucked out, and then Biff grabs Clamhead, and Biff gets sucked out, and then Shelly grabs Biff, and then Bubbles grabs Shelly. So all 5 of them
it's all hanging on Bubbles. Bubbles is our link.
Oh, Bubbles doesn't hang on. No, they're all just flying through space. No.
Which I would say this confirms that they're aliens, that they didn't immediately get crushed under the pressures of space in the absence of any
or like freeze, anything like that. Yeah. So they're all like, it's like a chain link of all 5 of them holding on to each other, flying through space. And they're like, oh no, how are we going to get back to the ocean? And Clamhead's like, Jabber, turn it into a parachute. And being the ooze creature that he is, as you described.
Yeah, maybe that's the type of aliens that they are, is that they're ooze.
Yeah,
ooze aliens.
All of them are. They're just ooze personified. And so Jabber like flattens out and turns into a parachute, and they all just gently float back down towards the ocean. And as they get closer, Biff instructs them all to, put on their, what do they call it? Their aqua helmets. He's like, everyone, activate your aqua helmets and we're going to fall into the ocean. And it's funny because it very quickly goes from the background being like dark sky with like stars everywhere, obviously alluding that they're in space, to like a millisecond later, like crashing waves over the ocean, and they just like plop into the ocean.
I mean,
and then they're back in Hydrostan. They plop right back towards Hydrostan, coincidentally. I guess the ship went straight up and they came straight down. Yeah.
Yeah, wow. I guess it wasn't a windy atmosphere that day to knock them off course. Okay.
That's how it typically happens, when a spaceship, when astronauts or whoever have to eject from the ship when they're like landing back or whatever, and they like go into the ocean, like they use a parachute and
they just kind of crash in there.
It's just a cute little dainty Mary Poppins style fall right into the ocean.
Okay.
Like crashing waves.
And they're just boop.
Like the waves. I can't stress how violent the animators made this ocean look. Like it was. I was like, you guys just like plop right into that? That doesn't aliens. They've got to be aliens.
Absolutely.
That's the only answer.
Any second of this episode. Yes, aliens.
So luckily, or maybe not for them, the gang, they land right on top of one of the flying saucers that's taking part in this alien invasion. Again, underneath water though, a floating saucer, swimming saucer, a sub, I don't know.
Yeah. And they unidentified floating object.
Still
works.
And they see that the aliens are like full force ahead, getting ready to attack Hydrostan. Like they're sending out all of these little smaller ships to circle around the area. And the gang agrees that now is the time to take their final stand and make sure that these alien creeps don't get away with their crazy plan. So the gang sneaks into the spaceship again, but while all of the humans, will say, sneak into the spaceship, Jabber's like out there hyping himself up, getting distracted, like imagining how he's about to beat the shit out of all of these aliens.
He likes doing that.
He does that.
Give him a
left, two, give him left and a right. Exactly. He's doing all that. And he gets separated from the gang because he's not paying attention. Yep. So the gang, they're like already inside of the ship while he's still out there doing that. And they're sneaking around in there. And they happen to run into an alien henchman, of course. And this starts a very groovy and funky chase scene, classic 70s animation with an amazing song, by the way. It's like, it's so good. You're going to love it when you hear it. It's very, it's like art psychedelic rock, like art rock / straight psychedelic rock. Super cool. And Jabber's just like watching them getting chased from outside the ship. He's like looking through a window, like, oh,
I'm glad I'm not in there.
I know, pretty much. And the chase ends with the teens being trapped in a storage room in the alien ship.
Oh.
And Domax being like, okay, good. They're trapped for now. So just like continue on with the plan. Like, you know what to do. Yeah. And just as the teens are about to give hope, because like they're looking out of a little window and seeing more and more ships going towards Hydrostan, they're like, damn, like, okay, I think this is the end. I think we might have actually fucked this one up. Whoops. Just as they get there to that like sad mental state, they see a saw-like object cutting through the wall of the alien ship, of the room, of the storage room that they're in. And they quickly realize that Jabberjaw, since he was outside this whole time, he has called upon the help of a carpenter shark, or like the sawfish, those ones with like the long, like saw-looking beaks, noses, not a beak, whatever. And the shark just like cuts through the wall and it like frees his friends, but also like lets a bunch of water into the ship, I guess.
I mean, they don't give a shit about this ship.
Yeah, no, they don't. They're like, put on your aqua helmets, let's go.
Yeah, might as well kill them all by flooding it. That's a great strategy. They're bugs.
I don't think manti can swim. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're gonna drown.
So once they're free from the storage room, the gang, they see that all of these alien ships have closed in on Hydrostan and that it's probably too late for them to save the day. So and they're like, okay, well, let's leave. We're free now. Sucks for them. Guess we're not playing any shows on Hydrostan anytime soon. But no, they pull out one last Hail Mary play in an attempt to save the day. Mm-hmm. Similarly to last week, when you just couldn't quite explain Jabberjaw turning into a screwdriver or whatever, a drill. I can't quite explain here, but they use Jabberjaw. They like slingshot him through the ocean. Which also imagine how much power and force like that would take, given how high the pressure is that deep in the ocean and all the water to sling a great white shark through
like zipping through the air.
Again,
also imagine
superhuman strength from this band.
Imagine you're just like one of the holdouts still in the city, and you're like, okay, I see the aliens coming, but we can survive. And then all of a sudden you see a great white shark whizzing through the air, jaw wide open.
You know what? Never mind. Please take us.
Yeah, exactly. You have to pick between those two evils.
Yeah, I don't know. I think one definitely sounds better than the other.
Yeah.
So, yes, they slingshot Jabberjaw through the ocean, and he flies all the way across towards the spaceship, and he grabs. And so, by the way, this is one of the scout ships that he is like slingshotted towards, not the mothership. So he grabs the scout ship with his tail and then flings it back towards the mothership.
Cool. Like Frisbee?
Yeah, almost. Or like a
like a discus?
Like a catapult almost. Okay. Yeah, he like catapults it with his tail. And my thought is, oh, how cool. Like the small little scout ship is gonna like slam into the mothership, and like they're gonna explode and it's gonna be awesome, and like Domax is dead, and like boom, 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 cool, how awesome. Instead, the little scout ship stops like just in front of Domax's ship, and you just hear Domax like yelling over like a sound system, like, no, don't activate the force field, don't. And then you just see like a laser come out of the scout ship, and like a force field appears around the mothership, and the mothership just like crashes down and like turns off and stops working, I guess. And that's the end of the episode. That's how they defeat Domax. And so the gang is like briefly celebrating their victory, and as last week, the the city holds this big public, memorial, or not memorial, honoring award ceremony. Thank you for them, and like thanks Jabberjaw and the rest of the Neptunes for their brave heroism and for saving the city from the alien invaders. I think the mayor literally is like, well, and now that the alien invaders have been sent back to where they came from, we can get back to the convention or something like that.
Well, you think that the convention would be like, no, invite them in. This is our dream. Let's tour this fucking ship.
Exactly. Right. Like, save the ship, please. Please. You see them
Area
pulling it in on like
place.
a truck. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But nope. So they all applaud for Jabber now. I guess they're less scared of him. They're like, okay, this is actually a good shark. Like, he's fine. He's not going to eat us. He saved the day. And the gang then, starts their gig. They rock out playing yet another banger of a song, another one that I want to download and listen to over and over again. And all this happens as the audience and I vibe out to the song, and that's the end of the episode.
Do you want to know what I think happened with this force field situation that made no sense?
Please, someone's got to make sense out of it.
Explain. Because you said there was like so many like little, scout ships going out. Yeah. They were like, all right, this place is clearly tougher than we need. We need all hands on deck to get like these scout ships out. Everyone has to man one. Yes, Jeff, even you. So he got put into
Jeff's one. Like, this is the best day ever.
Yeah, he's like, I can do this. I will be part of this invasion. I've already helped so much. But then when he gets like full-on like beat up by Jabberjaw, and like maybe in the speaker somewhere, Domax is like, yes, Jeff, it's fine. Like, suck it up. Jeff's had enough. Jeff being flung at Domax. They're face to face in like the mirrors, or like the windows between the cockpits. And Domax is like, Jeff, no, and Jeff just looks at him because he's the one who coded the laser or the force field, and he knows that the lasers will, like, if a laser hits the force field, it's all over, and he just flips open that button. Says, this is for Jeff.
This is for me.
And that's why the force field thing happened. And Jeff finally fucking snapped.
Now that you say that, I think I did hear Domax say, Jeff, no, not the force field. Don't.
And I think that's what happened.
I love Jeff, man.
If only Hanna-Barbera thought about it.
Me too. He should take over. I mean, apparently he's the only one who still survived. Or actually, so I guess all those scout ships already like went out and they're still hovering over Hydrostan, but they're like, oh, well, that's the ship that took out Commander Domax.
I guess he's our leader now.
That ship is our leader now. Yeah.
Lord Jeff.
It's a very tribal way of like passing the torch. It's like pure piracy though.
Yeah, whoever kills the current captain becomes the captain.
Becomes a new captain. Yeah. They're space alien pirates.
Jeff turns the ship and goes, I'm the captain now.
I'm the captain now. Turns the ship, looks at all the other ships. Yeah.
Yes, Jeff.
Puts his wig back on. Yes. I am. Actually, no, he never took it off.
Jeff.
Could you imagine him like looking eye to eye with Domax with like the wig and the cheap makeup on? And
the makeup pressing is now the button. Smeared though, like
he's been like crying from the stress tears. Of the day. Yeah,
he still has the egg yolk on him. This is for Jeff.
This is for Jeff. This is for me.
My year of yes. Hit the button. Wow.
And
amazing work.
I can't wait until they do the behind the music for the Neptunes and we get to see where Jeff is now.
Yeah, exactly. He'll be a talking head.
Yeah.
Like, at the end. But he's like, when he's a talking head, he's like on a gold throne of like bones of his enemies. Wearing like a huge crown and like scepter, and is like, yeah, I mean, they were pretty convincing. And I did hear their music at the end. And, it's a real shame that the universe lost such a good band. But yeah, they did seem pretty dysfunctional. I knew it was the end. They could really feel the tension when they kidnapped me,
Yeah, they really couldn't get their plan together. It started out strong, but once we got to the police inspector's office, I really looked at these kids and I thought, they're really in over their heads, aren't they?
Yeah, and if that ain't the truth about the music industry and fame itself, I don't know what is.
Yeah. That's like how it ends.
It has like the little like label at the bottom, like Lord Jeff,
Emperor,
Overlord, Emperor and Overlord.
Yeah.
Alien
like Commander,
footage
Emperor, Overlord. Yeah.
From him in the police station.
Yeah.
Of all that happening, like flashing while he's discussing his time with them.
Yes, precisely.
Wow, amazing job.
Thank you. Yet another wild ride acid trip of an episode of this amazing show, Jabberjaw. Grace will be up again next week with another episode. I can't wait. Sure
will.
But until then, next week, Grace, who should they tell about this podcast?
I think you should tell anyone you know named Jeff.
Nice.
JEOFF or JEFF, whatever. Doesn't matter.
Any one of them. Cool. Good.
Any type of Jeff, let them know. And who else should they tell?
So I also think you should tell a police inspector, I suppose. I don't know if that's like a legitimate role. I guess it is, like a detective maybe, or whoever the inspector is. Maybe look at him a little bit harder than usual. See if they're a double agent, actually.
Poke his badge. Poke his badge. Secret button.
That I guarantee you that'll go well. And
it'll be right on his chest, so really hit it hard.
Punch it if you have to. So, don't take our advice, but do it and see what happens.
Find out.
Let them know. Yeah, ask them if they've got any undercover aliens working for them on the inside.
Amazing. Just in case.
Yeah.
Wow, incredible.
Thank you. Until next week.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Saturday Morning Mysteries.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share, rate, review, leave us a like, and drop a comment. We post episodes every Saturday and bonus tune tangents whenever we feel like it. So please subscribe so you don't miss the shenanigans.
And if you want to follow us on YouTube, click the bell under the YouTube subscribe button to receive notifications when new videos are posted.
And if you want to subscribe to the podcast, we have no idea what you're listening to us on. So just hit the big subscribe button on whatever app you're using. We believe in you.
Give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram at SatmornMist, all the abreves, and let us know if you have any episode or show requests by emailing SaturdayMorningMysteries@gmail.com.
Thanks to Jenna Kendall for the logo design and to Ava Sakiki for the music used during this week's episode.
See y'all groovy kids next week on Saturday Morning Mysteries.